Currently, the Father is saying, my initial plan for you is still open for consideration. Plan A is still a viable option to consider. Your grace-filled day has not been squandered by your sins. It is not the case that you have made such a serious mistake that your destiny is no longer open to you. You might have the impression that it is that way, and others might have the same impression, but I know and understand more than you could ever hope to comprehend. It is in my image that you were created. Prior to the beginning of the world, you were holy and blameless in front of me in love from the very beginning. At this very now, I am working to undo the damage that sin has caused to your existence. I will now cause beauty to spring forth in you and out of you like a root springing forth from dry ground. I will do this by causing you to emerge from the field of ashes. This is the location that I have set aside for you to call home. Come in here. You should make it your goal to achieve something that the majority of men never even attempt, to pass through the eye of the needle. Let go of the vanity of referring to things, and instead locate your sense of self in the presence of who I am in your experiences. In this way, life is immortal. Having this feeling means that you are experiencing complete and utter abundance in all aspects of your existence. Upon visiting this location, you will be able to let go of the distorted notions that mankind have about me and instead accept the fundamental truth about who I am. Let go of such vanities, says the Father, and accept in your actual essence the reality of my full, total, and utter presence filling and overwhelming your entire being at this very instant. Let go of such vanities. In this day and age, the Father commands us to enter the location that I have prepared for you. It is not the case that this is the most important thing somewhere in the heavens, beloved. In the presence of myself is the location that I have planned for you. The location that I have set apart for you is in the grandeur that I have created and in my own thinking. Whenever you put my thoughts on your mind, you are surrounded by my presence. When you are clothed with my presence, you are wrapped in the complete supply of everything that Calvary brought about by its sacrifice. You are immune to death's grasp. You cannot be deprived for need. You cannot be burdened by grieving. Whenever you find yourself in that location where my presence is your entire being, you will discover that I have taken on all of your burdens. At that moment, your load will appear to be impossible to bear, and the yoke will feel relatively effortless. You should be wary of people who say, "The burden of the Lord, the burden of the Lord." In the place that I have prepared for you, there is no hardship, no contention, and no fighting. Put some pressure on that area. Take a step into the seamlessness of everything that the cross makes available to you. Put some pressure on that area. In spite of the fact that the entire world and the stresses of life are working together to prevent you from reaching your destination, you should make it your goal to get to the Father, just as I went to my Father and your Father. This day, I ask that you accept my fatherly touch. I ask that you give me permission to bring myself into areas of your life where I have not yet been made real and manifested myself within you. Then, the story of your days will become synchronized with the story of my eternality, and this will happen. We are on the route that is narrow. Despite the fact that he is a fool, the man who is traveling along this path of holiness will not make any mistakes along it. This is the tranquility that I have extended to you. It is through the work of Calvary that I have showed you the kindness that I have shown you. You belong to him. I have paid for everything. The blood applies to you as well, and it does so in a comprehensive manner to every area of worry and need. Take me in the same manner. Take me as your complete and total being. I am that I am, and I will continue to be all that you could ever want or need in any way. I am everything that you could ever want or need. Simply because you were not in a state of stillness, you have not always recognized or realized this. The upswell of everything that I am being made manifest in the silence between your own thoughts will be experienced by you when you make stillness your default stance in every difficulty. What the Father is saying to you today is that you should not let my promise in your life become dormant. It is imperative that you do not let the falsehoods and diversions of religious thinking prevent you from receiving the now that I have promised them. Put to rest any and all thoughts and imaginations that you have that I am not going to come through for you. I will not reject you any more than I would reject my Son during his appearance on earth during his human sojourn. I will not reject you. What I would have to do is spit on the cross in order to dislike you when you are in need. No, that is not feasible. What you need is right here. All of the assurances that I have given to you are firm. Have faith in me. Regarding who I am and what I am doing, you should keep your expectations in mind. On the contrary, you will not be let down. There will be no refusal to let you in. I will be there to meet you at the path, and I will bring you to the fulfillment of your greatest dream and the utmost heart's desire. Reconcile yourself with this fundamental reality. You should tell yourself, I get to have it all because I am seeking the kingdom first. You should also ask yourself, what else could possibly go right? The battle you wage with your words is against anxiety and loss. It is not possible for you to lose. In the course of your pursuit of my highest and best purposes for your life, you will not be derailed because of anything. Neither are you too young, nor are you too old. You are just right. Considering that I have time, you also have time. It is possible for you to be confident that you are not guilty because I am your justification. You do not have any guilt. Do not allow yourself to be ruled by a shame conscience that tells you that you are not deserving of receiving. Because I have a high regard for the Son, in whom you have placed your faith, I am making my presence known in your life. Due to the fact that the gift of my Son is functioning in you, there is no one or anything that can convince me to ignore you entirely. The time has come for you. This is your precious time. Happy are you, and have trust that you will receive everything that I have promised. What the Father has to say about you today is that I have made a space for you. It is more than simply a thought of one day, someday. I am standing at the door of your heart and knocking even at this very moment in order to bring you to the place that I have planned for you. At this very moment, you have the opportunity to enter into the abode of my serenity and the abode of my joy, which is beyond any consideration of what is occurring in your life during this very moment. Everything that is going on around you is nothing more than a distraction that the adversary is attempting to create in order to divert your attention away from the balance sheet of heaven that is abounding to your account. You have reached your limit. I have filled you to the brim with all that I am. It is my grandeur that I have bestowed upon you. Each and every requirement is satisfied. Each and every wound has been healed. Ignore the past and move on with your life. The past is the past. Do not live in the past, rather, live in the glory that has been bestowed upon you. The events of the past are powerless to help you, but my splendor will fulfill each and every one of your requirements and wishes in an instant, without any prior planning or preparation. I have not only given you pipe dreams, but I have also given you promises, says the Father. Confront your skepticism. Resist the urge to be negative. Despite the fact that the pessimist asserts that he is merely being realistic, the truth is that he is feasting on lies. According to him, I will not come through for you, which is a falsehood that he has believed. He has been deceived into believing the falsehood that my message is not your equal. He has been deceived into believing the falsehood that my promise cannot be held to. Now is the time to sever ties with those who are contemptuous and mocking towards others. It is impossible to find healing in mocking. In the realm of doubt, neither supply nor promise is being met. Sarcasm is a poison that will extinguish your faith, even the measure of faith that I have given you from the beginning of the world. Therefore, you should put all sarcasm aside. As a mountain mover, you stand out. You are able to walk on water. Now is the time and the moment that you have been waiting for, and it is also the season in which everything that you have prayed for, anticipated, and believed for in me is coming to fruition in order to transform your life. There is just one purpose that I came into this world, and that is to search out and save that which was lost, as the Father has stated today. Your deliverance is in me. Rather than being lost, you have been located. You are no longer going to wander or be a wanderer in the desert of being in need and experiencing agony. I am the one who will save you. You are no longer bound by any kind of obligation. There is no longer any need to be afraid, even of death, for I will not inflict any of the diseases that plague humanity upon you. You are an entity that is immortal, and your soul is also immortal. At each and every moment, you are putting on the garment of immortality. On a daily basis, you are making progress toward the reality of my splendor and presence in your life, which is becoming increasingly brighter. This is the truth, drink it. I am a part of you, which is why you cannot be reduced. I make my home in you, and as a considerate visitor, I always bring presents with me when I visit your personal space. Disassemble the presents that I have presented to you. Let this day be filled with all that is good, and you will see the substance of my being, and you will rejoice. The Father says that there is no more waiting. It is not that you are waiting for my promise, rather, you are walking into it. The actions you take in response to what I have already communicated to you are significantly more influential than the things you are waiting for me to do or say in the future. That which I say is life. Take in my words and allow them to develop in your spirit until they manifest themselves in the shape of prayers that are answered. You do realize that you are carrying a child, don't you? The seed, even the seed of God, has been implanted in you, and you have become pregnant. I am bringing you to the birth and causing you to bring forth. Say it as Mary did, be it unto me according to your word. I am providing for your birth. You are being clothed by my flames. Despite the fact that the wicked one is attacking you, I will put an end to every act of violence that is being threatened against you. Pay no attention to the dangers that the adversary poses. You are my darling, and today is the day that I am bringing forth my splendor in you for the first time. In today's message, the Father encourages us to take my thinking as a model for our own thoughts and goals. Become a person who is God-centered. During the time when I came to earth to suffer and die for the sake of all people, the thinking of the Father was the motivation that kept me going. I did not link myself to man because I was aware of what was contained within him. It was the Father who provided me with all of the information that I needed to know each and every day. I ask that you allow my thoughts to keep you safe from the evil one, to preserve and sustain you. To prevent your thoughts from lingering on the negative or on the acts of the wicked one, you must refuse to entertain or allow them to do so. Through my death on the cross, I was able to eliminate all of the power that the wicked one possessed. It is no longer true that you are the servant of sin. The power of death will no longer have any influence on you. Poverty will have no power over you because the Comforter has arrived and is revealing to you. He is providing you with information about all that is essential for life, blessing, and abundance. The Father declares, "I am a God of abundance," and He promises that you will get an abundant life as your portion. Your life is filled with redemption, just as the silver that Solomon had accumulated in his day piled up on the corners of the streets because there was nowhere else to store it. You have already received more than enough from me, and I do not intend to merely provide you with what you require. Proceed to make use of the surplus that I have provided for you. Use your faith to reach out and take possession of it. Today is the day to become a son of my surplus. During the time when you are developing a surplus consciousness, I will put you in surplus. To have more than one needs is not a sin in and of itself. As a matter of fact, once you recognize that it is me who is the source of it, you will always have more than enough. As soon as the early church realized the extent of the supply that I had in store for them, they accepted it and distributed their resources equally to meet every need. This continued until there was not a single one of them that was lacking or had any deficiencies. Put yourself in that position. Become the person whose hand is extended to those who are in need and to every work that is successful. Make a conscious decision to stop living with your hand over your wallet and your fist clenched. Find a need that exists right now and fulfill it, even if you believe that your own need is more significant and more pressing. As a consequence, you will experience an immediate advantage and a dividend of my kingdom placed into your life. In this day and age, the Father desires for you to surrender yourselves to my love. I want you to be refreshed in your ability to genuinely feel my love and to experience it as a measurement of what your day looks like. There are some people who have moved on from their feelings and are now filled with cynicism and derision. Their only experience is one of pessimism and skepticism. That is not your share of the pie. Refuse to take a seat in the seat that is being mocked. Leave the company of people who have nothing positive to say about anything, and get away from everyone else. They believe that their pessimism, as well as their predictions of impending disaster and their plots of evil, make them knowledgeable. Intoxicated by the sound of their own voice, they have been unable to function normally. Take a step away from them and establish your own identity. Make a separate path to my happiness and my tranquility. Because I am with you and will never abandon you, I invite you to come out to the place where fear is replaced by celebration and dancing for delight. It is an impure spirit to be afraid. Because the blood of the cross was shed for you, guilt is a deception that you should not believe. It is appropriate that you be forgiven and that you be delivered from the chains of sin and misery. You are the embodiment of my truth. You are the embodiment of who I am on the inside. I am the truth, despite the fact that circumstance may be true. A description of the scenario is not the same thing as your truth. The truth that you are is a person, even if it is my person that is existing within you. Alteration is a possibility as long as you continue to reject the deception of the natural world and accept the truth that my spirit is within you. I will rescue you from the ravages of ruin, and I will rescue you from the failures that you have brought upon yourself. Come into this world of reality. To be set free, you must run to your Daddy God. In the event that you approach with humility and contrition, I will always be here, ready to accept you into my arms. I will take you over to myself and place you in the cleft of the rock until the storm has passed and you are no longer in danger. This day, the Father instructs us to refrain from crying in the night. No more sobbing at the wall of a temple that has been destroyed. There is no evidence that your temple is in ruins because you, in your own person, are the temple that I am filling. There will be no more need for the sacrifice of animals. There will be no more wondering, what must I do in order to be delivered and get free? I am the one who will save you. It is the Father who resides within you who is doing the process of liberating you and putting you in a place of liberty and promise. He is doing this by establishing you in your proper thinking. You are currently residing in the atmosphere of eternality that I have constructed for you. You are the source of my irreducible life. You are surrounded with an abundance of unending favor and blessings that cannot be accounted for. Make a conscious effort to avoid thinking thoughts that are restricting or exclusive. There is no exclusion for you. When I look at you with love, you are holy and blameless before me. It is no longer true that you are a slave to guilt and misery. This marks your graduation. You have been delivered from the domain of darkness and brought into the kingdom of light as a result of the work that the blood of the cross has done in you. It is now your turn to experience contentment. Concern is not warranted in any way. Is there a lack of provision? Aware of the fact that I am your provision. If I gave you my Son, Jesus, 2,000 years ago, how is it conceivable that I have not given you everything freely along with everything else that I have given you? In the event that you possess the Son within you, then you possess everything, and there is no deficiency in your possession. Accept it and believe it to be true. If you speak forth my truth, the circumstance that is lying to you will disappear, and my promise will be fulfilled in your life today. According to what the Father has communicated to you today, the Spirit of understanding is illuminating you. You have fought with not knowing and not understanding, but I say to your eyes, be open today, and to your ears, hear the wisdom of the just. You have asked for wisdom, and wisdom is yours. You have asked for wisdom. There is no longer any darkness in your comprehension. In this moment, I am illuminating the interior of you with the light of my truth. I will make sure that you are aware of everything that you need to know in order to escape the confined space. You will no longer be relegated to the role of inactive observer and observer waiting. It is no longer acceptable to have the hope that things will improve in some manner, shape, or form. Put on your shoes, get up, and move away from the spot where you are feeling hopeless and into a place where you are seeing new light. I have unlocked the doors of the prison house, and you must not allow yourselves to linger there. Your shackles have been detached. This day, freedom is yours to enjoy. You are now a part of the culture of the kingdom, which I have brought you from the culture of defeat. You are no longer at a distance from my life, which is something that happened. You are not an extraterrestrial being. As a child born in my throne, you are a homeborn child. You have the beating heart of a children of God within you. Ignore the falsehood. It is important to not give the opponent the opportunity to tell you who you are or what the future holds for you. Your days are written in my book, and I do not take pleasure in writing catastrophes. I invite you to step out of the incomprehensible scribble of sorrow and confusion and into the pages of my book, which contains your name. Ascended into your place, sat in heavenly regions in Christ, you are free to ascend into your place. It is finished. Learn more about your true destiny by entering the final product that you have enjoyed and seeing what it is. In today's message, the Father advises that it is time to disengage from the roller coaster experience. From the beginning, I never planned for life to be an experience in which one crisis followed another without any breaks in between. It is not an eternal cycle of disappointment and futility that I have in mind for you. Rather, it is something else entirely. You should make a conscious decision to not let instability and upheaval define who you are. I fashioned you to make your yoke simple and your burden light. It is important to focus your expectations on the blessing rather than the challenges that are occurring all around you. Declare it with belief. Declare to yourself, both in your heart and out loud, that it doesn't get any easier than this, and what else there is that might possibly go right. Your righteousness will emerge and be confirmed when you make a confession from the depths of your heart, and this will bring about your salvation. My ultimate goal is to make my Son known to you, and to make your life a demonstration of the fact that you have spent time with Jesus. In order to see the manifestation of the divine in your life, which will serve as the foundation for your testimony. You have not been given the responsibility of stumbling through life while carrying a harsh burden of desperation. The theology of despair is completely ignorant of life and life in its highest and most abundant form. Contrary to popular belief, the teachings of defeat that arise in the academy of the misinformed should not be accepted. Receive rather the complete inventory of all that the cross makes available to you. The pain that Jesus endured on the cross makes a significant amount of human misery needless. Things can be different, dear, and they will be very different for you as you put your foot forward today with hope and pleased anticipation of my goodness. This is happening because you believe the good report and put your foot forward. I have cleansed you by the word of my power, says the Father with a voice that is heard today. I have cleansed you of your sin. At each and every instance in which your character has distanced itself from the idea of my purity, a mark has been left behind. This healing virtue of mine is being poured in, and those scars are being washed away and wiped away. Your holiness, which is the beauty that you possess, is unblemished within you. Permit this truth and this grace to penetrate your very core until everyone in your immediate vicinity becomes aware of the fact that you have been with Jesus. My Son instructed you over and over again to go and sin no more. You were not made for the purpose of committing sins. It is up to you to decide. With the help of my enabling spirit, which is located within you, you will be able to overcome those instances in the past in which temptation has overpowered you. If you are unable to break free from the chains of sin and disobedience, then you must accept the grace of heaven. In the presence of the Lord Jesus Christ, it is your responsibility to reflect the grandeur of my character. For your face to shine, just as Stephen's face shone in front of those who were trying to persecute him. My name is now embedded deep within you. I have done this. I am that I am is the essence of myself that resides within you when you close your eyes. By virtue of the new birth, I have placed the measure of my substance on the inside of you. Thank you for being born again. In the process of your rebirth, you are reborn from an unchangeable seed. Working on the inside of you is what corruption is all about. Working on the inside of you is what cleansing is all about. The angels are not even close to being able to compare to you. Your basic nature is to be an inheritor of everything that I have provided for you, especially considering that angels are not able to receive inheritances. In the eyes of you, I am a father, and in my eyes, you are a cherished kid. Now is the day to receive information in a fresh and new way. Today, allow the mentality and heart of a son to throb in your chest. This will protect you and guide you through every fire that you are now confronting. Let go of the natural and take hold of who I am to you today, the Father says. Let go of the natural. In the midst of the pressure or battle, before you wonder, what is going on, or what does this mean, simply know that I am with you. I am with you and I will never leave you in any form. I am with you. I am your tranquility. It is I who provides for you. I am the very essence of you. When the day is over, you will be provided with what you need. You will be able to rest easy at the end of the day, secure in the knowing that I am capable of doing everything well. Simply look through the eyes of the Spirit that I have given you and ask yourself, what else could possibly go right? While your mind is rebelling and your emotions are overflowing with anger, the mental optimism expressed here is not in vain. It is the acknowledgement that I am existing prior to Abraham, and the result is certain. It is via this that I have determined that you are the heir to everything. I am the bearer of your inheritance. When it comes to getting what I have in store for you, you are not waiting to go to heaven. However, your inheritance is right now, even though heaven is your share. This moment is the promise. We will no longer wait. By the time you are prepared to give up waiting, the substance that I have been holding in my hand is ready for you to take. Today is the day to enter into your presently. This is the last thing I have to offer you. All of the things that I have to offer you are there right now. Find out and reveal everything in you that is preventing you from living in the here and now, and then crucify it with the unholy lusts and desires that are tainting the image that I have called you to bear. You are the child that I have. That is not something that should be a part of your life. It is true that you will be cleansed, but you must not continue to sin. You are not going to be ruled by sin, rather, you are going to be ruled by the power of the blood that was poured over all that fights against you and tries to confine you. In this day and age, the Father declares, my substance is you. On the inside of you is where you will find my individual substance. You are familiar with me, despite the fact that you have not witnessed me in the natural state or known me in the natural state or after the natural mind. I have removed your focus from the material world and given you my eternal substance. I have also given you the ability to see beyond the material world. In what way does this imply? In other words, it indicates that I am establishing myself in you. When I am in you, I am constructing myself. Through you, I am working. I am working in you, and I am working out through you, in order to transform the things that need to change, and to set you free to do every good job. What I am doing in you is a good thing, so hold on to it. At the same time that I am striving to fulfill my will and to fulfill my pleasure, guess what? The result that I have guaranteed is one that you can rely on. You are going to find that there are occasions when you are unable to comprehend what is taking place. In spite of the fact that you will not comprehend, you will be aware, deep down, that I am currently engaged in my task. The adversary has been vanquished. The outcome is certain to occur. Avoid looking at the waves and the winds at all costs. Whatever the case may be, I will come to your rescue. However, dear, do not lose sight of me. If you keep your focus on me, the small amount of faith that is responsible for you taking the first step will eventually grow into the enormous faith that will establish you and propel you into larger things that your mind cannot even begin to imagine. When you go, you will be escorted out with serenity, and you will leave with delight. In spite of the fact that your natural intellect will not contain all of the answers, you should just put your hand in mine. You will follow my direction. The Father says, I am bringing you to deep waters and green pastures where every need will be met and every thirst within you will be quenched in the waters of who I am on the inside of you. I am bringing you to these places because I am bringing these things to you.